This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Did it go up this time, Theo? No, it doesn't. It didn't. All right. Weird. Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world. West Alabama, how are we doing today on a Monday? It's the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. Hope you and yours are doing well. We are live on the Bama Central Facebook page. We're on the Bama Central YouTube channel. You guys are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, you can find the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. We appreciate everybody who has subscribed, rated, reviewed the program, shared it with their friends. We're going to have a lot of fun today inside the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. Call Derek for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. He'll take care of you, save you some money on your insurance, give you a great local agent that you can call. We appreciate Derek Daniel for sponsoring the program. And we appreciate Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program as well. The spring storm season is ahead, so you want to make sure that your roof is good to go. Visit them online today at roofturtle.com. We appreciate Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program as well. We're going to have a lot of fun with our man Theo Fernandez today. You can find us right there at Theo Fernandez _ at Joe Gaither 6 at Bama Central. Leave us a comment, question, query, or complaint. Or, of course, you can leave us a voicemail if you want your voice heard on the program. We want your voice heard on the program at 205-462-7340, extension 800. What we're going to talk about today is Alabama basketball beating South Carolina 89-75. It was a basketball game of all time as the Crimson Tide moved their winning streak to 4 SEC games in a row as we are moving through this 5-game stretch that Theo outlined. You're so far 2-0, so good stuff, good start. We'll talk about Alabama and South Carolina. We'll get Theo's analysis of Alabama baseball as he was over at the Joe for all 3 games this weekend against Washington State, battled through his unwellness. I don't want to name the illness because it wasn't really like, oh, I'm going to the hospital. A little flu, a little cold, little unwellness. He battled through over at the Joe to watch Alabama baseball get off to a 2-1 start. We'll find out his analysis of the baseball team so far. We're going to talk about a brand new wide receiver. Yes, Courtney Morgan and Kalen DeBoer still shopping, still spending that money, just still spending their scholarship spots, finding new talent. And Tyler Henderson becomes Alabama's newest wide receiver. JUCO All-American Tyler Henderson flips from Kennesaw State to Alabama. And so we will talk about Tyler Henderson just a little bit. And if there's any other time, I've got a football topic and I got a basketball topic to get into. They may get pushed to tomorrow, but that's okay. Theo, good morning. How you doing, sir? Are you surviving? Are you better than Friday? I'm sorry, but Friday you were operating at about a 4, a 3. Yeah. And I'm not criticizing.
No, I'm well aware, Joe. I was struggling to get the words out. I was struggling to sound good. It was rough. So still a little under the weather, but we're 90% of the way home. I think my voice sounds...
You sound like an 8 now.
Back to normal.
Right.
I'll take an 8. Yeah, that's a good place to be right now.
All right, great. If we got 8, Theo at an 8, then we're doing A-okay. Theo, Alabama basketball, I know you didn't watch it because you were writing baseball. You were writing your analysis of the doubleheader, and then I think you probably went to bed at about 9:15. whatever you hit send on your last article, and I think your head hit the pillow, and so you didn't really watch Alabama's game. You didn't miss anything. Alabama beat South Carolina 89-75. Aiden Holloway another 20 points for LeBaron Philon, 19 points. LeBaron 4 of 7 from beyond the arc. Aiden also hitting 4 3-pointers. Alabama was absolutely on fire in the first half, I believe. Yeah, 9 of 17 from beyond the arc. And the second half cooled off a little bit, 5 of 17. So still getting the 3-point shots up. But if you were going to miss a basketball game due to illness or due to a Valentine's Day date, hope you all had great Valentine's weekends with your significant other. If you were going to miss a basketball game this season due to other obligations, this was the one to miss.
Yeah, it feels weird. First basketball game in the season that I didn't watch. Now, actually, I listened to UCF or to USF and Kennesaw on the radio. They didn't have the broadcast available in Panama, believe it or not, where I was then. But yeah, no, it felt weird missing a game. I had it on in the background while I was writing, but obviously writing for baseball does take priority. I watched a little 25-minute highlight reel cut, but yeah, no, I did luck out, right? It was a pretty okay game to miss, I felt like, in the grand scheme of things, where box score wise, South Carolina puts up probably more of a fight than either of us expected, but I don't think my takeaway from everything I've seen was that it was not close at any point, really.
Well, right. Alabama was they were kind of battling back and forth for a little bit of the first half, and then Alabama jumped out and had a pretty decent run and ended up taking a 13 point halftime lead into the break. And honestly, the biggest takeaway that I had is Alabama's lack of killer instinct was still on display. South Carolina came out and kind of jumped back into the game just a little bit. They never really felt like they were threatening, but ended up Alabama won the second half by 1 point, 44-43. You were kind of going back and forth in the second half with the second half score. Just didn't really take South Carolina. I don't know. They never really stamped on their neck, really, like, oh, we've got you down here at halftime. We're going to come out here and make sure you don't get off the mat. Miles Studi came out with his second half, ended up with Michi Johnson, Michi Johnson in the second half, 24 second half points after scoring 2 points in the first half. Absolutely just flamethrower, taking it to the hole and shooting from beyond the arc. You didn't really have a good answer for Michi Johnson, but it didn't really matter because South Carolina, you just never felt in Coleman Coliseum like, oh, this game's about to get close, or South Carolina's about to really take the lead. They cut it under 10 a couple times in the second half, but other than that, it was basically just Alabama just riding, you know, how the horse rider, how the bull rider just rides the bull until it gets tired. It was kind of just riding it out, and let's just ride the clock out until it gets to double zeros and tack on our fourth straight win.
Yeah, and it's a good stat, right? 4 straight wins, and that's the most important thing because, yeah, you have the easy schedule. You've talked about this, and it was impressive to beat Auburn and A&M, but you always gotta be ready for a letdown, right? You've quoted Wimp Sanderson a bunch on the, what is it? Every game's a big game when you lose it.
Yeah, he would always say, well, it's not a big game until you lose.
It's not a big game until you lose. I like that. I don't start making the rotation.
Because look, if you do we care about the South Carolina? No, we don't care about it. But if you had lost it, it would have been a big game, right?
No,
we'd be in here Monday blowing up the program.
It'd be doomsday, and it would have real implications for the tournament. I mean, a South Carolina loss to some very, very bad things for your resume. So this win helps Alabama very little in the grand scheme of things, but you avoid catastrophe, and going for a 5th straight win this week in a massive, massive game on Wednesday. You got some momentum heading into really the only hard game for the next about week and a half, because you play in Knoxville at the end of the month. I think it's on the 28th, and until then, nothing to speak of besides this Arkansas game. So massive game coming up.
Huge game for the Crimson Tide. Alabama is still the number 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, according to Joe Lunardi. He just tweeted 2 minutes ago his newest bracketology. You've got number 1 seeds Michigan, UConn, Duke, and Arizona. Alabama is the 3rd 4 seed on Joe Lunardi's bracketology. I feel like that's still just a little bit high, but I will take a 4 seed for sure with this team because you get a good draw. I still think that you get a good draw. You go 9 of 17 from 3-point line like you did in the first half. You get a good draw. You can find yourself in the Elite Eight.
Are we still going to Portland?
Still in Portland.
Still in Portland. Who are you up against?
The CA Baptist. California Baptist.
Yeah, so that's stayed the same from last week.
Yeah.
It'll be they're one of the easier 13s, I think. I've gotten to see him play once. I've read some stuff about the team. I'd openly embrace that matchup versus, a Liberty or High Point or some of the scarier mid-majors.
Well, we'll find out what happens with Alabama. As you said, their next game is going to be on Wednesday against Arkansas, and I think that's a big one. I think that Coach Oates has really he really upsold it on Saturday night after the game. Really upsold the fact that Arkansas is a team that can come in there and beat them, and it is a team that's been really, really good this year. They're 9-3 in the SEC standings, so a huge game for Alabama trying to get that top 4 seed in the SEC tournament. You want to pick off one of the teams above you. Go ahead and because you beat them, you'll end up with the same SEC record and ultimately have the tiebreaker, so you can jump over them in the standings. The standings are as such. Alabama is 5th right now. Yeah, Florida, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Alabama. You got a 4-team tie at 8-4 for the 3rd spot. With Vanderbilt and Tennessee basically taking 3 and 4 because they have tiebreakers over the Crimson Tide. Alabama with the tiebreaker over Kentucky is the next seed at 8-4. So that's why Alabama is 5th in the SEC standings. Huge game on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Theo, with the huge game, are all your buddies going to actually show up this time?
Yes, top 25 match. I don't know. I anticipate Alabama getting back in the
I
top
do too.
25.
23, 24, 25.
Top 25 matchup in Coleman Coliseum, packed out.
Because I know it was a really big Saturday of activities on campus. You had doubleheader softball, you had doubleheader baseball, you had all kinds of things. You had, I'm sure parties all over the campus with all the places to party. Great, awesome. The adults once again were in the building at 7:30 for Alabama basketball against South Carolina. The children were not. What the heck? Is everybody just so out on this team after losing to Tennessee that they stopped coming?
Yeah, so to be fair, this is the one time I'm defending the student section. The one time. If there's a game you're allowed to miss, it's the one against South Carolina. Even thank you, Keith.
Keith, we'll get a lot more elaboration from Theo on baseball here in just a few minutes. Go ahead. You're talking about the student section.
Back to the student section. I saw Keith in a YouTube comment about Alabama baseball. I saw you commented on those highlights, Keith, as I pulled them up. I saw, I know that name. Anyway, the student section, there were empty student sections in UConn. I know Ed Cooley called it out. So a lot of teams had them. You're allowed to, when you play a bad school, you usually get the luxury of being allowed to not show up. You lose that luxury when you don't show up to any of the games. So it's hard to say, but it's disappointing to see.
It's been since the Tennessee matchup.
Yeah.
Since it's been full all the way to the top of the corner.
So I guess it comes down to, do you need that number next? They need to see the number next to Alabama to show up? Is that the only way we acknowledge that this program exists? Because, I know.
All you fair weather out-of-state students.
I know with my friends, they're not going to go because I'm working the game. So I'm not going to be sitting in the stands with them. And I'm the only one who has the, ability or desire to rally that group together to get into the stadium. So that I know that
they can't be inspired to come to Coleman and boo John Calipari. I mean, Calipari coming to town is enough. If I wasn't working, Calipari coming to town would be enough for me get me in the building to go boo.
And right, you would think that it's not going to have an effect on the non-college basketball knowers, but even just the casual college basketball fans who've watched enough March Madness over the last few years, right? Calipari should be a draw. He should be a big enough. This is one of the guys. This is one of the, we talk about the generation of coaches. Come watch John Calipari.
Right. Exactly.
No, it would be. I'm restraining myself a little right now.
That's okay. Go ahead.
There'll be a Thursday morning evisceration of the fan base if I see a single empty spot, a single It'll right up there at top.
What's a huge game, too.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens if the students actually do make it. I have confidence.
I do too.
I know the tip-off is at 6:00, but I have confidence in the regular ticket holder. Obviously, some people won't. It won't be 100%, but I have confidence in the regular ticket holder that there will be a good showing from the adults and regular ticket holders. The students just need to pop on in there and yell for an hour and a half.
This should just be the kind of game that people are lining up for. And that's what really annoys me, because I spent a whole lifetime, right, as a college basketball diehard fan with no college around, right? I go to West Point, I go to Fordham. I get to go to a St. John's game once in a while, which those were a little harder to get to just because of being in Manhattan. Then I'd go to the A-10 tournament every year, and I'd go to the Big East once in a while. So I was exposed to college basketball. I was watching it every day, and I'd see the videos of, oh, man, look at how far in advance they've lined up outside the arena at Kansas. And Duke's a bad example, right, because how small Cameron is. But Kansas, right? And even you see stuff at Florida, right? And then Alabama, I get down there my freshman year, and you got people camping out, as the team's good early in the season. And then you start to lose a few games. It dissipates a little, but you're still packed out most of the time, right? And last year, I saw all the tweets yesterday, right? Like, 1 year ago, Alabama versus Auburn, 1 versus 2. First of all, that feels absurd that it was a year ago, right? We feel so far removed from that. Second of all, why can't that be the standard, man?
It is the standard.
Why can't that be?
It's what we're aiming for.
It's what we're aiming for. And that's what we want to see on court from the team, right?
Yeah.
Why can't that be the standard from the fans? Why can't we carry ourselves like we are a premier college basketball program? Because we've got year in, year out some of the best players. We've got one of the best coaches in the nation. We've got an athletic department that is serious about supporting this basketball program. We're bringing in the talent. We're doing it while playing one of the most fun styles of basketball in the country, right? It's just so frustrating to see a fan base, a student section, unwilling to give its all for this program. It really, really frustrates me.
Yeah, so we'll find out what happens this Wednesday at 6:00. My last takeaway from the basketball is back on the court, and it's with Aiden Sherrill. Aiden Sherrill in both games without Charles Bediako. Double-digit scoring, 11 points on Saturday, 6 rebounds in both games. You would like to see closer to 8, but come on, 6 is okay. 11-6, 15-6 in his 2 performances without Charles Bediako. But my favorite number in both games was the foul count. Only 3 fouls across both games. 2, I think two in this last game and 1 against Ole Miss, maybe vice versa. But 3 total. And to me, that's the most important thing. Obviously, you want to see Aiden Sherrill defending the rim, and you want to see Aiden Sherrill being somewhat of an offensive threat, especially at the rim, making free throws and layups and dunks. He didn't make a 3-pointer on Saturday. He took 2 of them. Made a 3-pointer against Ole Miss on Tuesday. But to me, the lack of foul trouble or the control on the defensive end, the control on both ends, but really on the defensive end, not getting into foul trouble allows Nate Oates and does so much for this basketball team. Because look, if without Charles at this point, Aiden Sherrill, if he gets into foul trouble, you're turning to Noah Williamson, and not very great odds right there. Noah played 5 minutes this past week and played 5 Noah Williamson minutes. So you didn't miss a single thing from it. It looked exactly like every 5 minutes you've ever seen from Noah Williamson. And so I think it's going to be imperative that Aiden Sherrill plays without fouling the rest of the season, because I don't think you're getting Keaton Bristow back. I very, very confident you're not getting Collins Onyejaka available for this team. You didn't play with Taylor Bowen on Saturday because I'm pretty sure Coach Oates just decided to rest him because of the inferior opponent. Now, that really wasn't said. He talked about getting him rested and getting him healthy for the rest of the year. It was said between the lines. I think it was said between the lines that South Carolina's not good. We're using this opportunity to get him a night of rest so that he can be available really for Wednesday's game against Arkansas. And so you're really thin still in the front court. And that is why I think that the most important thing from these two games is obviously the win. But statistically and underneath the hood of the win is Aiden Sherrill staying out of foul trouble. Because if he gets into foul trouble, the lack of depth in the front court becomes right under the microscope. Oh, you don't have anybody to turn to. Are you really throwing Noah Williamson out there to play the 5 in critical minutes? No. Is Taylor Bowen able to do it as a small 5? Debatable for sure. And so for me, the rest of the season, Wednesday being the next big moment, but the rest of the season, I think you love getting double-digit points and getting 6 rebounds a game from Aiden Sherrill. But to me, the biggest thing is stay out of foul trouble, which he's done the last 2 games, and be available to Nate Oates so that you're not limited in what you can do matchup-wise against the rest of these great teams that you're going to be playing.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head there. No Aiden Sherrill, no real chance at staying competitive in the paint in a game against really any big SEC team. And that's something that I think maybe slipped under the radar, went outside of what I was thinking, when we were talking about the most important things when Bediako was unable to play, right? You can't compete in these games without him. We know what Noah Williamson is. I guess that's something I want to really start paying attention to now, especially in this Arkansas game. Like, has it affected the way that Aiden Sherrill is playing, defending? Because if he has to give up on a play or two to stay out of foul trouble, you understand that. You'd much rather have Aiden Sherrill with where, maybe he won't, try to get this block because he sees the writing on the wall, which, for being honest, like he was a little overzealous to begin with, right? You get a lot of blocks, but you also get a lot of fouls in there. And maybe this restraint that he has to show could end up being a good thing for, maybe I'm going to make some smarter plays and not give him free trips.
I asked him after the game if he had done anything differently, and he goes, "Oh, no, just playing with my hands up." And I was like, thanks. Good answer. Good. Appreciate that. No, he's not doing anything differently now. He's just playing with his hands up. So we'll see.
That's a great way to play basketball.
Exactly. Hands up, don't foul. So Alabama basketball will be back at 6 o'clock on Wednesday to take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Let's transition to the other side of the parking lot, Theo. You were busy. You were over there all weekend long. Well, really Friday and Saturday, all day Saturday, as Alabama baseball opened up its season against Washington State. You guys were all in there, and you all followed Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez _, as he brought you all the updates and had a lot of written articles on BamaCentral.com from the weekend. Alabama lost the first game, 8-4. Not good. Not what you expected. But then came back and won both games in a doubleheader, 8-1 and 11-1, to win the series 2-1 and open the year on the right foot. Theo Fernandez, take us over to the Joe, and let's just get some of your. Let's just go bullet by bullet, and I'll fill in asking questions. What are some of your takeaways from Alabama's opening weekend?
Yeah, well, if anyone was following along on X as I was tweeting, probably saw a lot of the doomsday stuff I was posting. It wasn't engagement bait, but I mean, to a certain extent, right? When you lose a game to a team picked 8th in the 9-team Mountain West, as a team with preseason Omaha aspirations, it's going to be a lot of reactions, right? Fact of the matter is, first game in a very long season doesn't matter all that much, especially when you do go out there and just completely dominate the rest of the series. Overall, it was a very promising weekend for Alabama baseball. Tyler Fay came out on Friday and just had a rough outing, right? JT Blackwood relieved him. There was an error fielding from Alabama that really helped Washington State blow the game open. And Alabama, young hitters, new team, first game of the season, just couldn't deliver with guys on bases. A lot of stuff went wrong. But the good far, far outweighs the bad. I was very happy across the board with what I saw from this Crimson Tide team.
Yeah. You said had a rough outing on Friday. Excuse me. I was typing a text right there. Alabama baseball. Let me just add. Let's just go down some of these names and find out and get your opinion on how they did.
All right.
Miles Upchurch on Sunday because look, on Saturday because Saturday I was basically locked into basketball and I didn't really. I was retweeting you and I was retweeting Henry here and there, but Miles Upchurch. Everybody said he did great.
He was phenomenal. He was mowing down those guys, and I mean. He's throwing a mid-90s heater. He's mixing in pitches pretty well. He was really just great overall, man. I think he ended the day with 9 strikeouts, which that's a debut right there. Threw 76 pitches over 4 innings. So not the longest outing, but it didn't matter, right? He did what he needed to. He came in, no runs scored. I want to say it was 2 hits. And no walks for him on the day. 2 hits, 2 walks. I'm mixing up his stats with Zane Adams from the game before. Doubleheaders are weird because everything just kind of blends together.
Right.
But no, Upchurch showed really, really strong command.
I have 9 strikeouts. I have 2 walks. I have 2 hits.
2 walks.
I have 15 batters faced, forced a ground out in 4 innings. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was just really, really good, man. There was one little sequence
9 strikeouts in 4 innings.
Yes. Yeah, it says most of everything you need to hear, right? There was one moment I know where he did seem to get slightly overwhelmed, right? An early, early pitch clock violation, throws a wild pitch a moment later. So, you see the freshman.
But that's adjustment from high school to college, right?
That's very much in the realm of the
just tweaks, small tweaks.
You're making your first career start. In an otherwise beautiful performance, really. I mean, he was just dicing those guys up. Miles Upchurch, every single ounce of hype that's been given to him is warranted. He has the ability to significantly raise the ceiling of this Alabama baseball program.
Ooh.
Zane Adams showed that he can be, and I think will be, the ace of this team. I like Tyler Fay. I think Zane Adams is just a next level baseball player. And he showed it. Just, you talk about a guy operating at a higher level. A lot of the same stuff I'm saying about Upchurch, Adams does it at an even higher level, right? He added a slider this offseason, and he was just painting them. And he was just delivering in the corners. He was executing the pitches the way that you want to see a high level guy do. Passed up on being possibly a 3rd-round MLB draft pick last year, and that decision really, really going to pay off this year. So you look at that, right? You've got Adams and Fay. I don't think you're really going to lose much of a beat on Sundays. And yeah, Upchurch is going to have some bad outings in SEC play. I mean, that is a given. There will be times when he just comes out there and these hitters pounce on him. I think you get a couple of those in your system, and you continue to find ways to innovate, and you continue to find ways to overcome and adapt. I think the version of Miles Upchurch that will take the mound in May is going to be a battle-tested, postseason-ready version of him right now.
Ooh. Let's find out. Let's watch his freshman season.
He's a National Freshman of the Year
unfold.
Contender.
Okay.
That is not a stretch. You will see him on the award watch list. You will see him talked about for it. He could be a freshman All-American pitcher. You could ask national writers. There's no crimson-colored glasses on this one. He is at that level right now. Miles Upchurch is going to be a phenomenal piece of the Alabama baseball program for the next 3 years.
That's about as glowing a report as you can ask for on an opening weekend. Take us to the left side of the infield, the double Justins. You had Justin LeBron with 6 hits. You had 6 hits, 2 home runs, 6 hits, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs in the 3 games. He had 3 stolen bases as well. Grounded a double play one time. I'm just looking at the stat line. So honestly, looked like a pretty good weekend from LeBron. And then the other Justin, no hits.
Nope.
No hits, 3 walks from Justin Osterhaus. Everybody was so excited and hyping up Justin Osterhaus. So why don't you evaluate the double Justins on the left side of the infield?
Yeah, LeBron was great, man. He is who
2 home runs, 3 stolen bases. What a menace.
He looks stronger out there, too.
Okay.
He looks like first of all, like this guy was just a wiry player his freshman year when he burst onto the scene. And he was bigger last year, don't get me wrong, but the transformation's complete now. I mean, he is like a built guy, and he's got the power too. I came in and said I think he can hit 25 home runs. Well, yeah, he absolutely can.
He's on the way.
He's on the way. And he's on track for 55 stolen bases this year, right? 3 stolen bases in 3 games. He's going to tear through the base paths all year, as he did this weekend. Look, Osterhaus is going to be an adjustment. I think we expected him to come in and start just hitting right away. Well, but no, he had some rough moments. I mean, he struck out with the bases loaded on Friday. He struck out to end the game on Friday. We just took him out late on Saturday. Pinch hit someone else for him just because, the struggles were there, right? We're going to see him get on the board hit-wise very soon, and I'm not worried about him at all, right? It's an unfortunate debut in a Crimson Tide uniform, but I don't think anything to worry about.
Don't think it. All right. Last big question I have for you baseball wise is Carson Osmer last year, absolute shutdown unit as a closer. Did Alabama take any steps? Obviously, Washington State, it's hard to say opening weekend, especially with the scores on all 3 games kind of being lopsided. But do you think Alabama took any steps into finding out who its closer is going to be this season? Or what its plan's going to be with the closer?
Yeah, I don't really think that Alabama did. Just because, like you said, it's hard to figure out. And also,
you're waxing teams on Saturday, 8-1, 11-1. Nobody's getting thrown in there in a pressure-packed situation. Like, hey, go get a save.
Yeah,
go close it out.
The bullpen is still so there are so many names that you got to figure out and learn about and see. Okay, who can do what? I'm sorry, I'm just.
You're good.
Trying to pull up.
You're scrolling through your article. You're all good. You're all good.
Because I'm trying to just check in on everybody that we played across the 2 games, because there were so many names. So JT Blackwood is going to be a big middle reliever. We saw that. He was the first guy called out of the bullpen. Had some struggles, but was okay. I really still am pretty clueless on who will be the full-time closer this year. I really liked what I saw from Sam Mitchell, sophomore, didn't play last year. Guy from the Birmingham area. No, he's from Madison. Yeah. And he just came out and looked really, really good on Friday. Pitched I want to say he pitched the 8th and 9th lights out for Alabama. Showed some good stuff just because he hadn't pitched since 2024. And I vaguely remember watching him and being just pretty unimpressed by him then, right? He's a true freshman then, and now he's just a completely different player. Liked freshman Joe Chirotto. He won't be the closer, but he's just a guy to mention. Was recruited as an outfielder and a reliever, and he just looked really, really solid in his first appearance. So I don't really have a name for you. I like Evan Steckmesser a lot. Transfer from Samford. Was one of the best arms in the SoCon last year. Pitched, I think he had 92 strikeouts over 92 innings pitched, 2 years, 3.18 ERA last season with the Bulldogs. He could be the guy. think he'd be one of the better options to take that role full time now that I think about it. He came out to close the first game on Saturday. He's got some nice stuff. He's got a solid heater. I don't even have a name to pencil in.
That's
right
okay.
now.
I mean, it's still so early. It's still so early, and like we said, you lost 8-4, so no opportunity for a save on Saturday, and then Friday. Excuse me. My days are all messed up. No opportunity for a save on Friday, and then both the two Saturday games, 8-1 and 11-1. There's not really a pressure-packed situation right there. You brought in Matty Heiberger on Saturday in game one, pitched 3 innings, allowed just 1 run. As you said, Evan Stackmaster pitched the last inning and didn't give up anything. So pretty good day. But then the second Saturday game, it was just all hands on deck after Miles Upchurch. You saw Tate Robertson, Ashton Crowther, Luke Smyers, and Joe Chirota, just as you mentioned right there. So lots of guys coming in there, giving Rob Vaughn some information to take back to the coaching, back to the bullpen as he makes decisions this week.
Yeah, Smyers is a nice player too. I'm curious on if we're going to see him start a midweek game once in a while. He's a true freshman. Guy was the Virginia Gatorade Player of the Year. He's got some potential. He's one of those guys that kind of flew under the radar in the class. Speaking of under the radar, we have one more guy we need to talk to in this baseball. Andrew Purdy was one of, you talk about flying under the radar.
Brock Purdy's younger brother?
From Cartersville, Georgia. This guy was outside of the top 500. In a class with so many like big names coming to Tuscaloosa. Number 36, third baseman, comes in. Position change, right? We move him to first base. So this guy's fighting an uphill battle. Vaughn said that he basically led the team in hitting all fall. He just carries himself like a veteran hitter, man. If you watch one of the most telling moments from his weekend. So he came in and pinch hit late for Luke Vaughn, first baseman. Struck out in his first career at bat on Friday. And then got the start the second game on Saturday. He ended up going 1 for 3 with a 2 RBI single and then also walked in a run with the bases loaded. And you look at a freshman, right? You're at the plate with the bases loaded. One of your first career at-bats. Like just
nice and patient.
Exceptional discipline. He did not swing at the ball. Walked on 5 pitches.
Wow.
Didn't swing. I mean, that's... You don't see that, right?
Nice and patient.
You want to, unlike Eric Hines, I loved watching him play.
0 for 2, right?
I don't think he didn't swing at a single pitch. You know, Hines comes out, he gets put into the game, and he just attacks the first ball he sees, sends it to the wall. The guy had to catch it against the wall to get the out. And Hines comes right back out and just starts swinging again. I think he fouled off too. Or maybe, I think he fouled off too and then struck out swinging. So, you're going to see, like, everyone wants to get the big hit as a freshman. But Andrew Purdy is just really, really disciplined. And then he can deliver. Like, I mean, he came up with the bases loaded twice, actually, in the first time. Drove in 2 runs, just beautiful base hit right up the middle. Passed the glove of the shortstop and made things happen. So I think that Purdy, maybe a guy the listeners are not super familiar with, get familiar. He will be playing as much as any freshman this year. He'll be in the rotation for a daily starting job. Like Luke Vaughn at first base is an okay player. That's harsh. He's a nice player. He does some good things for Alabama. He hasn't really played at all. He missed all last year due to injury. I think it's going to be a pretty open competition between him and Purdy this year to start at first base. Andrew Purdy will be doing some good things this year.
All right. So Alabama baseball back in action Tuesday and Wednesday for midweek games. Tuesday in Birmingham against Samford.
I'll be there.
Wednesday against Alabama State right here in Tuscaloosa. And then you'll have a 3-game set this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, against Rhode Island at 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 1 o'clock are the start times for that 3-game series as Alabama baseball rolls into its second week of the season. Overall, last comment, last thought here. Grade the first weekend. Not an A+ if you didn't sweep them.
I'll go B.
Okay.
Go B. I'm happy with a lot of what I saw, but I mean, they lost a game to Washington State, right? I understand it's baseball, and I understand stuff's going to go wrong, but we gotta grade fairly here.
We got to grade fairly. That's exactly right. All right, let's transition here to football real quickly as Alabama football added another wide receiver this weekend. Let's do that right after we tell you about our friends at Purple Turtle Roofing. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just a contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of I was trying to do it by memory, but I could not. Unfortunately, I will edit that out real quick. Is that what I want right there? That note, that's what I want. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacement, insurance claim support, and more. Visit them online today at roofturtle.com for all the information that you need. You can check out their tile roofs. You can check out their shingles. You can check out their metal roofs. You can check out everything that they do for chimneys right there at roofturtle.com. Call them today for your free roof inspection at 877-787-6635. Roofing with heart, built to last. Purple Turtle Roofing. All right, we're here with our man Theo Fernandez, wrapping up a Monday edition, and we want to talk about Tyler Henderson. What? Alabama keeps adding more players? Added more players, added Tyler Henderson out of Mississippi Community College, Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. It plays wide receiver. My man's is right at 6'1", 175 pounds. He was a JUCO All-American and was set to move from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College to Kennesaw State, but ultimately is going to land in Tuscaloosa. 68 receptions last year, 1,228 yards, and 13 touchdowns. Number one in receptions, yards, and touchdowns in JUCO last year. What the heck? Did Alabama find themselves a hidden gem, or is this just going to be a depth piece on the 2026 roster? Theo, have you looked at Tyler Henderson at all?
Yeah, I took a little look at him last night preparing for this after watching the South Carolina highlights, and we see JUCO wide receivers do things in high college football, right?
Malik Benson.
Yeah, we see guys come over and translate because the ability to run past a guy transfers, believe it or not, to just about all levels of football. So I think that I don't know what kind of role he'll play. It's hard to predict right now, but if he comes in, if he has a good camp, like, don't be surprised if this turns into, being a solid little pickup that completely flies under the radar for Alabama.
Well, these first few clips, Theo, on his huddle, they are from his time at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, so it's not just the high school on the huddle, but he is clearly the best athlete in these first handful of clips, running past several guys. He's running guys off and coming back for a comeback route, but essentially just running, cutting through these. Oh, that was a nice catch. Cutting through the secondaries pretty easily. Now, it is JUCO, so you got to figure out how it's going to translate. But golly, just running right past that corner. You cannot teach speed. You can't teach athleticism. Can you refine it? Yes, you can. I'm not going to sit here and say that this is, I'm not going to sit here and say it's Jalen Waddle. I'm not going to sit here and say it's Devontae Smith. He doesn't quite look like either of those. What is his style? His style, like, he kind of looks like Tyreek Hill a little bit, just stylistically. Now, obviously, not not that productive and not that fast. But he's got the stature is like, yeah, he's got a weird stature where he kind of looks small, but you realize he's 6'1". He's moving faster than everybody else. Alabama now up to 11 scholarship wide receivers. And so I don't really see him like, okay, this guy's going to get 30 catches next year. No. Do I do see him as an experienced player. I see him as an experienced player who, look, you're really probably paying attention to the Joey Aguilar case right now, especially this guy's probably paying attention to the Joey Aguilar case. If JUCO years don't count, he's played 2 years in JUCO. So right now he technically has 3 years to play at the next level, five years for his 4 seasons, right? But if Joey Aguilar wins his case, then maybe he's going to have 4 years to play and develop his skill set. I don't see him, breaking Ryan Williams' spot. We're not going to even say anything like that. I don't see him, being Lucia Brooks. I don't see him, stepping in here over Sedarian Morgan.
Even like Rico Scott, right? A guy with familiarity in the program, and it's hard to see him getting there.
Like, these secondaries are just so bad that I'm not really sure how to exactly evaluate it, but he's got good ball skills. I mean, he's tracking the ball pretty well in the air, and he's got decent releases off the line. I think he might struggle. Against higher level competition getting off the line of scrimmage. But for me, you've got so many more scholarships. You're up to 105 scholarships now. And so you've got to get 15 to 20 more scholarship players, 15 really, more scholarship players. And so this just becomes one of those 20 scholarship players to add to the roster as depth and real. Look, I'll tell you this: looks like a more dangerous receiver than MJ Chirkwood, who's on scholarship.
You're not sold on Chirk yet? Chirk has more.
He's got
career touchdowns than this guy. So.
Yeah, that's right. He's got a touchdown catch from Keelan Russell. But no, I think this is just a depth piece and somebody who, hey, if we can develop him, he shows good ball skills. He shows decent athleticism. He's thin. He's real thin. At 175, you're going to have to put on 15 pounds of muscle, 10 pounds of muscle before you're really competing in the SEC.
He's going to learn that pretty fast.
Absolutely. So, Theo, how would we set expectations for this player?
I think you have the right idea, right? You got at least 3 years. Can he become something by year 3? Even, by year 2, right? You see these JUCO guys, you don't need to produce right away. It's, I don't know. At the end of the day, not everyone needs to turn into something big time, right, for the program.
He's a playmaker for these guys.
And he absolutely could be
for these guys. For Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, he's a playmaker.
And that's the thing. We look at this guy right now on day 1 or day 2, I guess, of his time as a member of Alabama football. And you can piece together a rational explanation for how he could possibly be a meaningful player for the program one day, right? We see the framework there. Can he make it happen? You've got 3 years to pull it off. Can we come into the 2028 season with you as hey, I'm going to be a player for Alabama. I'm going to be making things happen on the field and maybe a primary option for this team. I don't know where it'll go, but I don't there was not much NIL money given here.
Sure. Exactly. Yeah. When you talk about Moneyball approach, this is exactly that because, they just tossed him the ball on a little reverse and he scored on a reverse and he just made a diving catch. So he's got good ball skills and that is something that you get. I mean, that's instinctual. I'm sorry. Does Ryan Williams have good ball skills? I think he has okay ball skills. I'm going to catch the ball with my body ball skills. This man, he's at least catching it with his hands, going up, making plays with his hands. I don't know how the athletic. I mean, right now he's clearly the best athlete on this film. So it's going to be really tough to see how that piece of the game translates to the SEC. I mean, you're at community college now, you're going to the SEC. And look, no better place to find that out than here at Alabama, where the secondary that he's going to be going up against is some nasty mother truckers right there every day in practice. So I mean, look, there's potential here. Oh, hey, you got to love a highlight tape that shows a crack block.
Oh, okay.
They moved him into motion, and then he came down and just cracked an outside linebacker, put him on his rear end. So you love that.
I'm a fan of that.
At least. Oh, is that another one? No, it's drag. All right, so he takes a drag and catches a 4-yard catch and makes it into a 22-yard, 23-yard play. So good little athlete for Tyler Henderson, but hard to say how he's actually going to translate into the Alabama program in 2026. I think that this is another just let's take a swing on a guy and see if he comes to town and develops a little bit and see if he can be useful. You've got a wide receiver room full of potential and full of potential playmakers. So we'll see what happens. Mr. Tyler Henderson, welcome to the team.
Yeah, and I'd imagine we're absolutely done at receiver now, right? I mean,
you got to think so.
Yeah, I didn't think we were adding another at all after you made 2 pickups in late January, and it was Mathis and what was the other guy's name?
Aubrey Walker,
yeah.
All right.
I thought that was it, but you add another one, and I think 11 is a pretty good number to be at.
There you go. Tyler Henderson, welcome to the squad. We'll see how you translate to the team. Now, just one more note on wide receivers. Saw this last night. We didn't write it for BamaCentral.com because it wasn't really heavily reported. But Lazier Brooks got in a car accident over the weekend.
That's what happened?
Yeah, got a car accident over the weekend. And it seems to be okay. That's basically the bottom line. That's all the real details that I know. I know that there was a photo of himself on his social medias in a neck brace, it looked like, and his caption God is good. Seems like everything is A-okay. Seems like minor, seems like scare, seems like precaution. But that's really the only details that I have. I don't know who's at fault, where the accident was, what was driving, what's the miles per hour, what part of the car was there. I don't have any of those details. I don't know any of that. I just know that he got in a car accident over the weekend and appears to be A-okay.
Yeah, no, just no clue any of the details, but glad.
Yeah, definitely glad that he is okay. I want to encourage you guys to be careful on the roads. Use that example, use that story to think about just, look, he's okay, praise the Lord, but got to be careful. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't be texting and driving. Don't have your head down and driving anywhere in town or anywhere on any town. If you are in the state of Alabama, though, call my man at Derek Daniel, State Farm Insurance, 205-758-3391, and he will make sure that you are taken care of. Look, the instance like that, a car accident can happen to anyone at any time, so you want to make sure that you're properly insured. Call Derek Daniel for that insurance at 205-758-3391.
Yeah, Derek's the best player. I'm going to renew with him right after this show ends. I'm running out this week, so I'm going to go make sure I'm all set for a renewal.
Pretty sure it'll automatically renew, but double check.
I figured, they're great with face-to-face interaction and conversations. I want to go check in on my, policy and all that. So it's a great place to get your car insured.
Perfect. Theo, anything else you got for the day? Let's save our basketball and football topics for tomorrow because so here's what I got so you can brainstorm.
Okay.
One of my friends texted me, one of our listeners texted me Saturday after the game saying, Joe, who is basketball the SEC player of the year? I've been talking about Phylon, he said, but Phylon's kind of been, good, but not great. Like really good, but maybe not the best in the SEC. Yeah. He said, is it Nate Ament? He said, is it what did he say from Florida? Tyler Hall? Isn't that his name?
It's like more, it's Hall.
Yeah. So essentially he threw out a bunch of different names and said, who is the SEC player of the year basketball wise? So we can have a little discussion tomorrow who the SEC player of the year is. If you got a thought, leave us a voicemail at 205-462-7340, extension 800. And then football-wise, you have football practice starting in 3 weeks. You're 21 days away from camp opening up. So you're really, not much time, guys. I know this is the offseason and you're all, fiending for stuff. Not much time before we actually have spring practice. 3 weeks away, what is the position group? What's the unit that needs to improve the most? You cannot say offensive line because I think everybody's going to agree. Offensive line needs to be blah, blah, blah. And that's the most boring conversation ever because we've had it like 5 times now.
We're going to have it another.
Exactly. Well. We're going to have plenty of time to talk about the offensive line. So outside of the offensive line, and really, if you want to get actually creative, outside of the offensive and defensive line, because I think defensive line is pretty much your number 2. What position group needs to improve? I think the case can be made. The wide receivers got to play better. A lot of drops last year. think a case can be made. Running backs got to play better. A lot of 1-yard runs, not so hot, no explosion. I think you can make a case. I thought the linebackers were pretty good last year, but could be better for sure. Yanzi, good in spurts, could be better. So make your case. I think the only real group that doesn't need to improve that much might be the secondary. I think the secondary is pretty daggum loaded and nice. But if you want to say secondary, it's great. I'll hear your argument. So those are going to be our two kind of discussions tomorrow. Who is the SEC basketball player of the year, and what Alabama football position group outside of the offensive line needs to improve the most this spring camp? Call us on the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. Follow Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez _. Myself at Joe Gaither 6. Bama Central YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, all that stuff on the YouTube channel so you can hear all our press conferences, every show, and every little bit of behind the scenes action with Alabama athletics. Theo, anything else you got, sir?
That's all I got.
All right, we'll talk to him again tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. BamaCentral.